to demand for you if you're great. And here's an unpopular opinion. Wrestling was at its best when they actually did perpetrate racial stereotypes and when they actually did play on people's race and their cultures. And that went for everybody. That went for all races, all cultures, all ethnicities. Like take like for instance, I won't even go to the easy ones where it's the black stereotypes. Take the greatest wrestler of all time, Stone Cold Steve Austin. He was literally a stereotype of a drunken, violent redneck. He called himself a redneck. How is that not a racial stereotype? It is. But, and that's where I say the whole thing of like representation and all that bullshit, like I don't need it. My favorite wrestler ever was Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'm nowhere near being a redneck. One of my favorite people of all time was Mike Tyson. Ever since I was a kid, I loved Mike Tyson. Don't know why. Just something about him. He's a friggin' black, black gangbanger from Brooklyn. A bum made good. I look nothing like Mike Tyson. So all that stuff is bullshit. I think it's like though the racial stereotypes perpetrated and the it made for good entertainment. I think that's what a lot of people are too sensitive to admit. Nation of Domination being a black power group. It's entertaining. Eddie Guerrero was a Mexican cholo. He's like a straight up stereotype. Samoans, they all played stereotypes. Samoan savages. Godwins, hillbillies, DOA, they were bikers that, they probably make meth on the weekend when they're not wrestling. Triple H, when he played the blue blood English aristocrat. Yokozuna, Japanese sumo wrestler played by a Samoan. Like, it's like people are so goddamn sensitive nowadays, though, that they don't even want to let that happen. It's like Al Pacino playing Scarface. He played a Cuban gangbanger, but he's Italian. He's full-blooded Italian. People get too sensitive about that these days. We wouldn't have had the great character that is Scarface, that is Tony Montana. So, yeah, I think there's people are too goddamn sensitive these days. And you see, that's why WWE doesn't actually write that type of stuff. And I think a part of it is that whole mentality of becoming successful doing that and then pulling up the ladder behind you. It's like all these guys of the past, Triple H himself, who did the goddamn did blackface. Again, I'm not offended. I actually thought it was funny. I still think it's funny. Did blackface and now pretends like we can't do that. We can't do that. Who's going to cancel him? Who's going to cancel him? Actually, canceling wrestling would probably give it more publicity and better publicity than it's ever had. They should play off of cancel culture. And they actually did that better during the PG era. I know that's probably an unpopular opinion. The PG era was more controversial than what we see right now. You had Jack Swagger fucking battling Alberto Del Rio, calling him an immigrant. It's like you don't have that realism anymore. You don't. And it's because we're too afraid. We're too sensitive as a nation because we're faggots and bitches. So yeah, that's why until we get that sensitivity out of this country, wrestling is always going to be this. It's always going to be this. You're never going to have, another Eddie Guerrero even. Because they'll have, like, for instance, Andrade may throw something in that's a little too stereotypical and people will get offended and then, they'll pull Andrade. hey, don't do that anymore. Wrestling should be offensive. Should be a level to it that's offensive. And then that's what makes us the guy that offended us. We want to see him get his ass whipped by the dude, by the hero, the dude that we like. That is wrestling. You don't watch wrestling because you want to see two guys have a fucking competitive, honorable, sportsman-like match. Ruins it.